Hello, today in the garden I'm going to be planting potatoes. The variety of potatoes that I'm planting today is called Maris Piper. It's a well-known type of potato and it's a main crop. You can get earlies and main crop potatoes. This is a main crop that should give us a nice harvest of potatoes over the mid to late summer. The ground I'm going to be planting the potatoes in is clear now. It's late March here in the north of England, and all this ground was cleared of weeds and then it was rotavated using my vintage Howard Bantam rotavator. So as you can see, it's all now nice and clear, so it's time to dig a trench and get these potatoes in. Now, when planting potatoes, what you basically do is dig a trench to about the depth of a spade. You can put a string line across the garden if you really want, but I find it's just as easy to do it with a garden cane. And the thing to do is just start digging a trench. To dig down about a spade depth. And of course, as you go across, any weeds that you find, dig them out. Now, this is definitely not the only way of doing it. There are other methods for doing this. There are no-dig methods for planting potatoes. And everybody has their own ideal way of doing it, but most are broadly similar. You can never have too much compost in the garden, and here I've got 2 compost bins. This is the one that I'm still filling up with kitchen waste, etc. But this one is all well rotted down inside and ready to be used on the garden. Now, these bins are quite good because they've got a big top you can open like that. They're fairly substantial bins, but at the bottom there's another door. I'll just move these buckets out of the way. This is another tip for you. I got these buckets from a local supermarket. They were selling them off, 8 buckets for 99p. They have flowers delivered in, you know, cut flowers, and when they've sold all the cut flowers, they sell the buckets, 8 for 99p. Put a few holes in the bottom, they make excellent plant pots. I'll just move them out of the way for now, so we can get to the bottom door of the compost bin. Won't stay open put on its own, so I'll take it out for a minute. And inside there, there's all that lovely well-rotted compost that we're going to put in the bottom of our potato trench. The first thing to go in the bottom of the trench is a bit of garden lime, and just sprinkle a bit in. And that should deter the slugs and snails and even the worms from burrowing into your potato. And next thing to go in is our compost. There's quite a lot of eggshells in this compost. We always compost the eggshells. They don't break down much, but it's a bit like adding a kind of grit to your garden. And here the soil is quite heavy, quite clay-like. So anything you can put into give a bit more drainage to the ground is good. And now we've got the compost and the lime in the bottom of the trench, we just mix it in a bit. This also loosens the bottom of the trench up a bit, because when you've dug the trench it might have stood in the bottom of it as well. And again, any roots that you see, like these, this is all twitchgrass root that I've missed when I was taking it out the other day. Any that you see, pull it out. Every little helps. So these are the potatoes that we're going to be setting today, and as you can see they've all got nice shoots coming on them. Those shoots want to be basically pointing pretty much upwards as much as you can, and you want to set these around about 12 to 15 inches apart. And to help aid me in that, I've got a bit of stick here, a bit of wood that I've cut to exactly 12 inches 1 foot long. So potato, stick, potato, and your rows ideally want to be about 3 feet apart as well. So 3 of these apart. So about there and about there. So we'll get on with that. So here's my first tray going in. Move my cane out of the way. Right, so First one, I'm not going to put it right at the end of the trench because there's a metal pole that holds a washing line, and that's got a bit of metal, I mean a bit of concrete rather, in the ground holding it in. So I'm going to put the first one a bit away from the end, just there like that. Bit of wood. Next one, bit of wood. And I'm putting these in at 12 inches apart, or just over 12 inches apart. I'll do about 13, 14 inches. 12 inches really is the absolute minimum that you want them apart. There we go. So now we've done that, it's a case of getting your spade or a rake or whatever. I've got a rake here. Trying not to tread on the garden too much. And raking over where you've planted them. But before you do that, find a bit of stick and stick it in the end of the row, so you know where they're going to be until they start growing. Again, if you're finding any weeds, any of this twitchgrass root, keep throwing it out. So that's one row of potatoes planted. Now I reckon I've got enough seed potatoes here to set about maybe 2, possibly 3 rows. So I'm going to carry on. But that is how you plant potatoes. And when they start to grow, we'll make another video and I'll let you know how they're coming up. Okay, thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen, give the video a like, give it a subscribe, and you might also like to join us on Patreon. The Patreon address is patreon.com/AndyShed. That's patreon.com/AndyShed. But until next time, see you soon.